The Euro 2024 round of 16 games have now finally wrapped up, and there were some iconic moments and some amazing stories that were in. But now, I think it's only right that I make my predictions for the Euro 2024 quarterfinals. And trust me, you're gonna want to stay until the end, because there's gonna be upsets in my predictions. Why? Because I love being bold. So let's get straight into it. The first quarterfinal clash is between Spain and Germany, the best two teams of the tournament undoubtedly. And I can't wait for this game, man. You know this one's gonna be a good one. Let's start off by talking about Spain though. Even now, I'd probably still say that they're the best national team at the Euro so far. They topped their difficult group, getting a maximum of 9 points, and they're the only country to do so at this tournament. And also, they conceded 0 goals while doing that. Then they had to play Georgia in the round of 16, who did miraculously qualify for the knockout stages after a surprising victory against Portugal, beating them 2-0. So you know Georgia weren't going to be some easy walkover team. In fact, they even scored first in the round of 16 in the 18th minute, thanks to an own goal from Len Normand. And this was the first goal Spain has conceded all tournament. Now when this happened, I initially was like, no way Spain's gonna lose. And if they do, this might be the greatest European championship upset of all time. But then Spain started to turn up and dominate the ball more, and this eventually paid off with Rodri scoring a beautifully placed finish from outside the box with his left foot to equalize the game. Spain then ran riot in the second half, with Lamine Yamal dishing in a beautiful cross to Fabian Ruiz, who scored to give his country the lead. Then Nico Williams, who was cooking all game, had a great run from the halfway line and finished it off beautifully to give his country a cushion lead. And Dani Olmo, after a brilliant touch, scores a great goal to end the match off 4-1. And this game just showed me that no matter what you throw Spain's way, they have that ability to bounce back. They didn't need to bounce back in any of their group stage games, but against Georgia, they had to since they were 1-0 down. And this game proved to me that the Spaniards can handle that. Before I get to my prediction though, let's talk about Germany, who in my opinion have probably been the second best national team at the Euros. Now it wasn't pretty, but thanks to a last minute equalizer from Füllkrug against the Swiss, Germany topped their group just like Spain. But it is important to note that their group was statistically easier. However, Germany definitely had the more difficult opponent in the round of 16, where they had to play Denmark, who finished second place in their group. Now the first half wasn't all that. Sure, Germany scored within like the first 3 minutes, but it was ruled out because Kimmich unnecessarily fouled the Danish defender. That was kind of it for the first half. In fact, the most significant part that happened in the game was it being delayed due to lightning strikes. But those lightning strikes were kind of crazy though, I can't lie. Regardless, the second half started off with a bang. In fact, it initially looked like the Danish took an early lead in the 48th minute, thanks to Anderson getting on the end of a loose ball and finishing it off in stunning fashion. However, upon the offside technology, Delaney's big toe literally was offsides, and the goal had to be ruled out. In my opinion though, goals like these shouldn't be ruled out. I mean, come on bruh. His foot being slightly bigger is the reason why the goal wasn't given. Maybe Wenger was right. Maybe we should be incorporating his ruling of offsides, because this decision isn't morally right in the game of football in my opinion. But then like 120 seconds later, Anderson's handball gave away a penalty to Germany, and this man went from hero to zero. I kind of feel bad for him, I'm not gonna lie. Regardless, Havertz stepped up, and that boy ain't missing from the spot now. Come on. Eventually, Jamal Musiala had an amazing run to the net in the 68th minute, and the star boy finished it off in cool fashion to give his country the 2-0 win. So although without context it looked like Germany dominated the game, with a lot of stats going in their favor, it does kind of make Denmark look worse than they were, because at points in the match, they actually looked like the better side. And now, it's time for my prediction. Who do I think is going to win this clash between Spain and Germany? Now look, it's no secret in my eyes that Spain have been the better national team, and a lot of their players have been amazing, like Rodri in the middle of the pitch, Fabian Ruiz, the two dynamic duo wingers, Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, Cucurella surprisingly in the back, etc. Spain just looks better. But here's the thing though, Germany are the host nation, and if you include that in, that gives the Germans a massive advantage. And it's not like Germany have been playing poorly. They've definitely been the second best national team at the tournament so far, and they have a lot of great players performing well, like Musiala, Kroos, Neuer, Rudiger, etc. So with that being said, I think this game is about to be pure entertainment, and I'm gonna go for Germany winning against Spain 3-2 in extra time. You heard it here first. Next up for the quarterfinals, we got Portugal versus France, a rematch of the Euro 2016 final where Portugal won 1-0 in extra time. Yeah, I can't wait for this game, man. This is about to be peak. I can't believe we're gonna get 2 amazing games in just one day too. I can't wait for July 5th. Anyways though, let's talk about Portugal first. Now Portugal topped their group, as we all know, but they didn't do it flawlessly, because they lost to Georgia 2-0, like I said before. But that was with the Portugal B team. So heading into the round of 16, I was so sure that Portugal were gonna demolish Slovenia. I think I even said Portugal were gonna win this game 4-0 within 90 minutes. But oh boy was I wrong. I had too much hope in the Portuguese. That's because within 90 minutes, even though Portugal had the better opportunities, don't get me wrong, the game was still at a stalemate and needed extra time. Then in extra time, Portugal had a golden opportunity to score from the spot, but Cristiano Ronaldo, who nobody expected, missed the penalty. And this sent Ronaldo down spiraling, because before the game was even done, this man was seen crying and being really emotional. Now I like to see this sort of thing from Ronaldo, I can't lie. Even after playing 5 or 6 European championships, and even after winning everything club career-wise and achieving monumental success on the international level, he still cares about the game so much that he was seen emotional before the final whistle even blew. I actually love that from him, him and I kind of respect him more. I do have to say though, Ronaldo needs to take a little bit of a step back and kind of let the young generation flourish more. Like bruh, this man could not be taking every single Portuguese set piece. Sure, take penalties, but besides that, give the set pieces to other players, bro. Just be the target man in the box. Age catches up to everybody. It's not just you, so just adapt and let your team help you more than you allow them to right now. Anyways, that's enough of my Ronaldo rant. Let's talk about Diego Costa, because the Portuguese goalkeeper put on a masterclass to save his country. Not only did he have an Emiliano Martinez-like moment when he saved a one-on-one chance from Slovenia's Benjamin Šeško deep into extra time, but this guy carried Portugal on penalties. In fact, he saved 3 penalties in a row. It's something I don't think I've ever seen before. And with these saves and Portugal converting their penalties, Portugal made the quarterfinals after defeating Slovenia 3-0 in the shootout. And honestly, I kind of like seeing Portugal being put in a difficult situation and still coming out of it alive. This experience will help them out in the knockout stages and maybe even further, including this quarterfinal. But now let's talk about France, who honestly have kind of been pretty disappointing. During the group stages, their only goal from open play was an own goal from Austria where they won 1-0. Besides that, their only other goal was from the penalty spot against Poland, in which Mbappe scored. And additionally, their performances were so below par that they couldn't even top the group, with Austria topping the group instead, a side that isn't even at the Euros anymore, but we'll get to that soon. So honestly, just from the group stages alone, you could tell that France have been pretty underwhelming. But they did their job against Belgium. Sure, the game was boring and there wasn't much going on, but they needed a moment of magic to take them through, and Kolo Muani gave them that in the 85th minute to win the game 1-0, only to find out that Kolo Muani didn't even get the goal for himself, but it was actually a Vertonghen own goal instead. So to this day, France have not scored an open play goal by one of their own players at Euro 2024. That's crazy. Now it's no secret that France can turn up the heat just like this. The talent on the pitch is something that almost no other country can match. You've got Kylian Mbappe leading the lines, and then N'Golo Kante, Griezmann, Marcus Thuram, William Saliba, Theo Hernandez, Jules Koundé, Mike Maignan, etc, etc. These guys have talent all over the pitch. So even if France are playing kind of bad, you could never really count them out because of how talented they actually are. Plus, they've got a coach that knows how to win things and go far in tournaments in Didier Deschamps. So to count them out would be extremely ballsy. But guess what? I'm bold, like I said before, and I think this might be the end of the road for France. Now Portugal haven't played amazingly, but I think they played better than this French side, and I think that'll show in this game. In fact, within 90 minutes, I got Portugal beating France 2-1, and I'll go even bolder and say Ronaldo will get his first goal of the tournament. You heard it here first. Let's now move on to the other side of the bracket, where we're going to start off with England versus Switzerland. And honestly, I think this is going to be a very good game. I really like this matchup that we've got here. But before I go on and preview this quarterfinal tie, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and it means a lot, so thank you. And also, if you guys can, follow my Twitter and my Instagram, both at Nabuto, if you just want to hear my thoughts on football games, transfers, and overall, just to get to know me more. So if you want to, feel free to hit me up with that follow. Thank you. Back to topic, let's start this off by talking about England. Now despite England's talent, which is second to none at this tournament, these guys have been absolutely stinky. Sure, they topped their group, but they did it in the least convincing way possible. Honestly, if England had a tougher group at the Euros, I'm not sure they would have topped it. Then in the round 16, it was bad, like really bad. They conceded to Slovakia in the first half, one of the worst teams rank-wise in the round 16, and Slovakia kept its lead for the entire 90 minutes. In fact, Slovakia only had 30 more seconds before they would secure probably the biggest upset in European Championship history. But then, Jude Bellingham, who else, becomes Gareth Southgate's and England's savior, and scored a bicycle kick in the 90 plus 5th minute to equalize the game and take it to extra time. Wow, Jude Bellingham, man, plus 1,000 euro for that. I can't believe this dude's younger than me doing all these fantastic things, while I'm sitting here making a video that has to do with him. Crazy how life works. Regardless, Bellingham might be a Ballon d'Or favorite right now, I can't lie. Moving on from that though, Harry Kane gets on the end of a great Ivan Toney header and scores to put England up 2-1 in extra time. And that was the game. England barely scraped away with the victory and are now in the quarterfinals. Now England might genuinely be the worst team at the Euros performance-wise left, but like I said before, man, their talent is too good, and it's constantly bailing Southgate and England out. And not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to see this stop soon. Before I get to my prediction though, let's talk about Switzerland. Now they had a pretty good group stage performance, with them finishing second in the group and only a few seconds away from actually topping it. Then in the round 16, their performance against Italy was almost flawless. They had most of the ball and the chances throughout the first half, and then Remo Freuler gets on the end of a good cross, has a great touch, and finishes it past Donnarumma to put his nation up 1-0. And then right at the start of the second half, Ruben Vargas has a brilliant strike from the edge of the box and puts it top bins to put his country up 2-0. And although Italy had a couple of chances to get back in the match, they couldn't and got easily dominated and ran through by the Swiss. I said that in my previous prediction video too, that Switzerland are going to beat the defending champions Italy, and I guess I was right, but low key I usually am. Anyways, in all seriousness, Switzerland looked like a damn good side, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go even further. They've already faced tough opposition in the tournament, unlike England to be honest, and they played fairly well against them, so I can't see Switzerland beating England. However, since the beginning of the tournament, I've backed England to win the entire thing. Not that I want them to though. I feel like people might think I'm an England fan. I'm not, but I just feel like England winning something is inevitable, kind of like Manchester City winning the Champions League, and no matter how bad they play, they'll somehow somehow fleece their way to victory all the way to the final and somehow win the tournament. But for the first time, I think I might switch it up for my predictions regarding England. Not that I think this will happen, but I want to happen. So, I think Switzerland and England will have a scoreline of 1-1 throughout 120 minutes, and Switzerland will win on penalties 4-2 or something like that to make the semifinals. Let's see if I get this right. Let's now move on to the final quarterfinal clash at the 2024 Euros. It's Netherlands versus Turkey. And why don't we start this section off by talking about the Dutch? Because although they haven't performed their best, nowhere near it in fact, they have taken care of business. They ended up finishing third in their group, despite only losing once in the 3 group stage games. And fun fact, they're the only remaining third place group finishers left in the tournament. Anyways, in the round 16 clash against Romania, the Dutch looked amazing. They destroyed and dominated Romania, who won their pretty even group by the way. Also, Gakpo had himself an amazing game, with him scoring a cracking goal from the edge of the box in which he hit near post to put his nation up 1-0. Then in the second half, the domination only continued from the Dutch, with Gakpo having a wonderful assist to Malen, who scored the second. And then, Malen went all the way by himself to seal the game with a 3-0 victory. So not gonna lie, even though Netherlands were pretty underwhelming in the group stages, their below than average performances put them on the easier side of the bracket. And so far with that, they are cooking. But on the other hand, Turkey have been somewhat cooking as well. Yes, they got absolutely cream pied by Portugal 3-0 in the group stages, but taking that aside, they finished second place in the group with 6 points. But sure, if you give context like that poor game they played against Czechia despite winning 2-1, it'll show you Turkey hasn't been as great as they would seem on the surface. But to get 6 points in general is impressive nevertheless. Then in the round 16, they had to play Group D winners Austria, who topped their group with France and Netherlands in it. And Austria were starting to get labeled as the main dark horses of the tournament. But Turkey started this game off with a bang, with Demiral pouncing on a ball delivered into a dangerous area from a corner and scored within 57 seconds to put his side up 1-0. Anyways, Turkey would defend valiantly throughout the first half. And then regarding their first goal, they would do something similar at the start of the second half, with Arda Güler delivering a dangerous cross from the corner and Demiral scoring from it again to get a brace and put Turkey up 2-0. And although Austria got themselves back in the match through Gregoric and almost took the game to extra time if it wasn't for a world-class save from Turkey's goalkeeper, this game could have gone a completely different way. Instead, Turkey have made history, making the quarterfinals for only their second time in European Championship history. And they're going to try to make even more history by trying to make the semifinals. So, can Turkey achieve more than this? Well, it'll be a tough task for them nevertheless. And they're going to need a world-class performance to beat this Netherlands side, with them finally seeming like they're getting into the groove. But miracles could happen, and I've been doubting Turkey all tournament, admittedly. So it's only right that I eventually backed a Turkish in something, right? So that being said, I'm going to say Turkey and Netherlands go into penalties after a 2-2 draw, and Turkey will win on pens 5-3 to make the semifinals. Turkey, I'm backing y'all for the first time since the start of Euro 2020. Don't let me down now. Anyways, I appreciate y'all for watching this video, and let me know who you guys got winning each Euro 2024 quarterfinal in the comments down below. I would love to know what y'all think. Now, if you did enjoy this one, please remember to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and please be sure to follow my Twitter and my Instagram. The links are in my YouTube description. And last but not least, if you want to watch another entertaining video that I put out, you should definitely check out this video right here. You won't regret it.